Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Do you want to describe your daily routine in English but don't know how? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to explore the simple yet effective ways to talk about your everyday activities. We'll cover some of the key verbs you'll need, such as wake up, have breakfast, go to work, study, and relax. But that's not all. We'll also delve into time phrases that will help you structure your day. You'll learn how to say things like in the morning, at noon, and in the evening, which will really help you to paint a picture of your day. And to bring it all together, we'll teach you how to connect your sentences using words like then, after that, and finally. This will give your speech a nice flow and make it sound more natural. By the end of this video, you will be able to confidently describe your daily routine in English. To start, we need the right words. Let's focus on key verbs that are often used to describe daily routines. Our first verb is wake up. This is the action that starts your day. It's the moment when you stop sleeping and become conscious of the world around you. You might say, I wake up at 7 o'clock every morning. Next, we have breakfast. This phrase describes the action of eating your first meal of the day. You could say, after I wake up, I have breakfast with my family. The third key verb is go to work. This is the action of leaving your home to perform your job. An example of this in use might be, I go to work at 9 o'clock. Our fourth verb is study. This verb is especially important for students. It describes the action of learning or reviewing material, usually for school or a test. For instance, you might say, I study English in the afternoon. Lastly, we have relax. This verb describes the action of resting or doing something enjoyable after a busy day. You could say, in the evening, I like to relax by reading a book. Each of these verbs is a tool you can use to describe your daily routine. But remember, it's not just about the verbs themselves, it's about how you use them to tell a story about your day. For example, instead of just saying, I wake up, I have breakfast, I go to work, I study, I relax, you can weave these verbs into a narrative that gives more detail and context. You might say, I wake up at 7 o'clock and have breakfast with my family. At 9, I go to work. In the afternoon, I find some time to study English. Finally, in the evening, I relax by reading a book. Now that we have our key verbs, it's time to learn how to use them in context. Now, how do we structure our day in English? We use time phrases. Time phrases are essential tools in English that help us break down our day into manageable segments. They provide context and structure to our daily routines and make our stories and conversations more engaging and easier to understand. Let's start with in the morning. This phrase is used to describe actions or events that occur during the early part of the day, typically from sunrise until noon. For example, you might say, in the morning I wake up at 7 and have breakfast. Next, we have at noon. This phrase is used to indicate something happening at the middle of the day, typically around 12 o'clock. You might say, at noon I usually have lunch and take a short break. Then we move to in the afternoon. This is used for events occurring in the period from noon to early evening. For instance, in the afternoon, I go back to work or continue my studies. We also have in the evening. This phrase is used to talk about the period from sunset to bedtime. You might say, in the evening, I cook dinner and relax with a book or a movie. Last but not least, we have at night. This phrase is used for the period of darkness from sunset to sunrise, especially the time when people are typically asleep. For example, at night, I usually go to bed around 10. These time phrases allow us to create a clear timeline of our day, making our routine easier to follow and understand. They help us to narrate our daily activities in a structured, systematic way. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try to incorporate these time phrases into your own descriptions of your daily routine. You can also listen for them when others speak or write in English. This will help you understand their routines and timelines. Great job! With these time phrases, you can start to give structure to your daily routine. We have our key verbs and time phrases, but how do we connect our sentences to create a flow in our description? Now, that's a great question. Let's dive into it. When we talk about our daily routine, it's not just a list of actions, but a story we're telling about our day. And just like in any good story, we need to ensure a smooth flow from one action to another. This is where connecting words come into play. They are like bridges between your sentences, guiding your listener through the timeline of your day. Let's start with the word then. Then is a sequential connector, meaning it shows the order of actions. It's a simple and direct way to link two actions that happen one after the other. For example, I wake up at 7, then I have breakfast. Next up is after that. This phrase is used to describe an action that happens after another action has been completed. It's like saying, once I've done this, I do that. For instance, I go to work and after that I have lunch. And finally, we have finally. This word is used to indicate the last action in a sequence. It's a way of saying, after everything else, I do this. For example, finally, after a long day, I relax and watch some TV. These connecting words help to create a sense of progression in your daily routine. They make it clear when one action ends and another begins, providing a timeline that your listener can easily follow. But remember, variety is the spice of life. Don't just rely on one connecting word, mix them up. Use then in one sentence, after that in another, and finally, when you're talking about the last part of your day. This will make your description more engaging and natural. So there you have it. By using these connectors, you're not just listing activities, but narrating a compelling story of your day. With these connecting words, your description of your daily routine will flow smoothly. Now it's time to put it all together and practice describing our daily routine in English. Let's imagine a typical day. I wake up early in the morning, usually around 6 o'clock. After that, I have breakfast, usually something light like oatmeal or toast. Then I head off to work, which usually starts at 9. At noon, I take a break and have lunch. I often opt for a salad or a sandwich. In the afternoon, I continue with work until about 5. After work, I usually head to the gym for a workout or go for a run in the park. Finally, in the evening, I relax at home, maybe watch some television or read a book before I go to bed. Now it's your turn. Try to describe your daily routine using the key verbs, time phrases, and connecting words we've covered in this video. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be able to describe your daily routine in English with ease.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level A2. Routine, a regular way of doing things or schedule. Example, my daily routine starts with waking up early and having breakfast. Commute, the journey you take to and from work or school. Example, I commute to work by bus every morning, which takes about 30 minutes. Chore, a small task or job you do regularly at home. Example, one of my daily chores is washing the dishes after dinner. Relax, to rest and take it easy after work or school. Example, in the evening, I like to relax by watching TV or reading a book. Schedule, a plan for the times when certain tasks or activities will happen. Example, I follow a busy schedule, so I make sure to organize my day carefully.